Welcome to the Infinite Life, consciousness raising, spiritual transformation. I'm your host, Katish Haberfield. I know that this podcast will open your eyes to both the imaginable and the inexplicable. This podcast is not for beginners, but if you're on your spiritual awakening, or if you have experienced many spiritual awakenings, you'll find content here to delight and to inspire. We cover everything from past life regression through to hypnotherapy sessions, exploring consciousness in forms such as comets and in other dimensions. We speak to those in the afterlife, and also we rescue ghosts. We also speak to interesting and fascinating individuals, spiritual entrepreneurs, and authors and poets as well. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you supporting this indie podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Apple Podcasts and share with a friend. Thank you so much. Bless your heart. Bless your soul. Namaste. Welcome back to the Infinite Life, a consciousness raising and spiritual transformation podcast with me, your host, Katish Haberfield. This episode is our birthday celebration. It's been 17 seasons, 179 episodes, and 4 years. So, thank you for listening and joining us along the way. This journey started out with a desire to understand myself and figure out my own past life connections. It also has been something that has wildly varied to what I imagined, because in truth, that's what podcasts are about. You have ideas, you put them out there, you invite people to join you along the way, and what I would like to do this episode is to celebrate what we have achieved so far. So we're nearly at 10,000 downloads, and that is a pretty small podcast in terms of download numbers. However, if you want to add in the 2,000 downloads that I forgot to write officially from Spotify when I changed my host, then it's 12,000 downloads. I have been successful at finally reaching monetization, which means you've probably have heard, or maybe you haven't, a couple of other podcasts advertising through the way Buzzsprout allows me to advertise once I receive a number of downloads per month. We've made 44 cents. Aren't you excited for me? But in honesty, we have already been monetized because each of the experience seasons where I've invited guests to come on and have past life regressions, I did charge a fee. The point of the podcast was never monetization, but the personal discovery and quest to understand reincarnation and whether or not I had been here before. And on the way, I have discovered that my questions, my insistence in understanding the inexplicable has helped other people. And one of the most surprising things was that within the very first few weeks, I think it was, of my first season, I did receive a voicemail message from somebody who I'd never heard of. And he let me know how much the podcast as a concept was important to him. And I ended up inviting him on as a guest, and his name was Scott Olgren. So to thank him once again for his message, I'd just like to play it back to you 4 years later.
Hello, Katish. My name is Scott Olgren. I'm from Florida. We've never met, but I wanted to just give you a thumbs up on the work that you're doing with your podcast. I believe that connecting with or remembering life beyond this life and life before this life is one of the true hidden keys to fulfilling what we basically are as humankind. And I say that because I had a few extremely powerful glimpses into my own life beyond and before my life when I was in my 20s. And it altered the course of my life, and it put me into studying plant medicine and diet, and I ended up writing a few books on that. I see that you're from Queensland. I lived north of you in a tiny little town called Coolum for about 6 months back in the early 80s when I was traveling the world for a few years. I absolutely fell in love with Queensland. No need to write back or call me back. Just keep doing what you're doing and know that it is impacting people far beyond what you may realize. All the best.
And I'd like to thank the various people who have come on to the show as guests, either in interview format or as participants for the various experiences that I have hosted. Happiest Moments of My Soul sessions, or Healer's Path sessions, or Starseed sessions, or any of the different themes that we have had. We've had money and love and mediumship sessions, ghost rescue sessions. It's been quite the mixed box of chocolates, really, with how this podcast has gone, and it has all been following my inspiration. There have been many seasons that have not gone ahead, so I'm always trying to make content that is inspiring to you, and when I see that there are opportunities that don't receive uptake, then I take it as a learning lesson that perhaps it's something that I need to experience rather than you. So just in terms of acknowledging people in no particular order, here is my thank you to the guests of the podcast: Angelina Carlton, Rahul Athelvale, Ailish Keating, Alex Reynolds, Amanda Przalski, Archangel Zadkiel and Michael, Ashley, Max the Cat, Bill Heinrich, Brenda Astorino, Candy Irvin, Catherine Cristani, Chantel Rolofs, Cherie Burton, Cindy Lou Porter, Courtney Dillon, C.T. Kaup, D. Lisa West, Diane Bovalino, Diana, Dr. Susanna Courts, Ellen Thompson, Erica Stoves, Ernest Austin, Harry, Indra Rinsler, Isaiah Gabrielle, Ivy Mitchell, Jane McPherson, Jennifer Moore, Joanne Ross, Julie Holland, Katie Bock, Katie Carey, Kelly, Lalitha Donatella Ribak, Laura Hale, Liz Fiedermergen, Maria Selstrom, Megan Candor, Mike Oppenheim, Muriel Fellis, Miles Jones, Patrick Kenneth, Reverend Dr. Paul G. Meckies, Rob Tracy's, Rochelle Ryan, Ruby Coop, Sam, Scott Olgren, Shane Jacob, Shanti Hershenson, Stefan Daniel, Susan Papazian, Tina Irwin, Trudy Mallins, Vivian Watson, and Wajid Hassan. I'd also like to thank all of the non-physical guests who have joined us on this journey, being the higher selves, spirit guides, archangels, cats, dogs and pets and possums, and all of those in the light who know my soul, and the guests that I've had.
Hi Katish, it's Katie Carey here from the Soulful Valley Podcast and Publishing House. Happy 4th podcast anniversary. One of the past life regression sessions we recorded together completely transformed my life. As you know, soon after, I attracted in my partner, Alan. In that very first session, I saw myself in a lifetime on my deathbed with a man who still loved me. And synchronistically, the day that episode aired was the day Alan and I had our first date. That session not only helped me open up to this relationship, but it also unblocked a 5-month financial dry spell in my business. Your podcast is one of my personal favourites. As a fellow podcaster coming up to my own 5th birthday podcasting, I know how hard it is to keep going when you can't always see the impact you're making. So I want you to know your podcast changes lives. It has certainly changed mine. Congratulations on 4 incredible years, Katish. Lots of love from me.
Hi Katish, just to wish you happy 4th podcast anniversary from one of your frequent listeners over here in the UK. Take care, lots of love.
Hey Katish, just wanted to wish you happy 4th anniversary of your amazing podcast. It's been a blast the times I've been on the podcast with you, and the amount of knowledge that you've shared with the amazing guests you've had over the years has been wonderful to listen to. I've learnt so much. We've explored so much together. It's been an amazing ride. I'm so glad that you kept the podcast going, because I know there are a couple of times you thought about stopping it along the way and doubted if you were doing the right thing. You definitely were doing the right thing. It's been an amazing ride. I'm trying to think of what has been my favorite parts I've listened to over the years, and there is just way too many to think about. Yeah, congratulations again. I just want to say that over and over, and keep up the amazing work that you've been doing. The knowledge that you are sharing with the world through this podcast is invaluable, and keep up the fabulous work. Namaste, my friend.
As an author who writes about remembrance and the healing of the soul across lifetimes, I feel deeply connected to the Infinite Life podcast. Katish's voice holds a rare balance of insight and tenderness. She explores reincarnation, love, and the unseen worlds with humility and heart. Listening to her feels like being guided through layers of memory, where truth meets compassion. Her podcast isn't just something to listen to, it's something to experience.
Now, Corey was exceedingly kind to create a special piece for us for the 4th birthday celebrations. So here it is. Enjoy.
The wound is where the light enters you. Rumi. Hi, this is Corey Winnicombe, author of the Night Dance Saga, a story about remembrance, shadow, and love across lifetimes. A series about reincarnation, trauma, and the healing power of love. The following is a piece from the world of Night Dance, but not from the novels themselves. If you would like to read the prologue, where memory first cracks open, where the soul recognizes its own echo, with pain as the gateway, go to nightdance.net and click on Read. There are moments when the soul remembers itself, not through light, but through the echo of pain, and of all that was once lost. In that echo, time folds, the past breathes into the present, and we feel lives we've struggled through, battles we've fought, love we've given and left behind, faces we once knew, eyes we would remember anywhere, the quiet pulse of unfinished tenderness. Remembrance is not a thought, it's a vibration, ancient, steady, rhythmic, moving through the body like a song whose lyrics we almost remember, but not quite. Sometimes it hurts, because to remember is to feel everything. the beauty and the guilt, the hatred and the love, the tenderness and the grief, the stream of emotion that refuses to die. But that ache is holy. It's where healing begins, and the space between forgetting and forgiving, between the shadow and the light. That is what night dance is. The dance between shadow and remembrance, between trauma and unconditional love. The place where story becomes soul again. Every story is a circle. Every shadow leads us home. We remember, we return, we rise, and we shall live again.
And I'd like to thank the various people who have come on to the show as guests, either in interview format or as participants for the various experiences that I have hosted in terms of happiest moments of my soul sessions or healer's path sessions or starseed sessions or any of the different themes that we have had. We've had money and love and mediumship sessions, ghost rescue sessions. It's been quite the mixed box of chocolates, really, with how this podcast has gone, and it has all been following my inspiration. There have been many seasons that have not gone ahead because I put them out and offered them to people, mostly through social media, to be honest. And when I see that there are opportunities that don't receive uptake, then I take it as a learning lesson that perhaps it's something that I need to experience rather than you. So just in terms of acknowledging people in no particular order, here is my thank you to the guests of the podcast. Angelina Carlton, Rahul Athelvale, Ailish Keating, Alex Reynolds, Amanda Przalski, Archangel Zadkiel and Michael, Ashley, Max the Cat, Bill Heinrich, Brenda Astorino, Candy Irvin, Catherine Cristani, Chantel Rolofs, Cherie Burton, Cindy Lou Porter, Courtney Dillon, C.T. Kaup, D. Lisa West, Diane Bovalino, Diana, Dr. Susanna Courts, Ellen Thompson, Erica Stoves, Ernest Austin, Harry, Indra Rinsler, Isaiah Gabrielle, Ivy Mitchell, Jane McPherson, Jennifer Moore, Joanne Ross, Julie Holland, Katie Bock, Katie Carey, Kelly, Lalitha Donatella Riebeck, Laura Hale, Liz Fiedermergen, Maria Selstrom, Megan Candor, Mike Oppenheim, Muriel Fellis, Miles Jones, Patrick Kenneth, Reverend Dr. Paul G. Meckies, Rob Tracy's, Rochelle Ryan, Ruby Coop, Sam, Scott Olgren, Shane Jacob, Shanti Hershenson, Stefan Daniel, Susan Papazian, Tina Irwin, Trudy Mallins, Vivian Watson, and Wajid Hassan. I'd also like to thank all of the non-physical guests who have joined us on this journey, being the higher selves, spirit guides, archangels, cats, dogs and pets and possums, and all of those in the light who know my soul, and the guests that I've had. Now, finally, before we finish this episode, I'd just like to remind you that if you're on Apple Podcasts, you can actually send us a text message. Don't worry, I won't be texting you back. It just goes to my back end of the podcast editor, and you can give us some feedback or leave us a message. It's text only, not audio. If you ever want to leave an audio message, then you can send it to my email at hello@katish.com. I'd like to invite you to support the show. You could make a contribution from $3 a month, and it's in the purple text. If you're on Apple Podcasts, it's just click on support the show. Another way that you can support my show is to support the sponsors and affiliates. Now, the affiliate that's on every episode is my son, Angus. He's not really an affiliate. I'm just trying to help him promote his YouTube channel. And you'll see the heading is called Love Ancient Rome. He is a university student and a Latin fanatic. He did Latin at university this year and at high school. He was the Dux of Latin. And his passion is ancient Rome. So he has a whole YouTube channel that has just started in the last year. So you can click on that and watch that. That's a great way to support the show. I've also brought on a very special person, and her name is Dr. Tassel Faith Shanebrook, and I'm working together with her to help create financial sovereignty on earth through miracles. And she was recently, like Katie Kelly and Lalitha Donatella Reback, a star of the documentary movie Zero Limits. If you haven't watched Zero Limits, you can watch it, I believe, on Amazon. I purchased it prior to the launch. So Dr. Tassel is holding Zero Limits free masterclasses, weekly miracle sessions, and virtual and in-person workshops. So you can click on that link and participate. Some of the options are for free. To create community, I have created a Facebook group called Infinite Love, and that is a spiritual group. I also have a second group that tags off that, which is called Frankly Katish. I used essential oils and related supplements and products from doTERRA for a very long time to help me navigate my emotions after the death of my father, my divorce, raising 2 children by myself, and then trying to navigate a career. First as a photographer, that didn't work, but the photos are now on my podcast. Every episode has a photo by me, unless it's the guest's official bio photo. I was a doTERRA rep for a long time, and I was a sound healer, and then in the current iteration of my business, which has been hypnotherapy, past life regression therapy, and other forms of modalities. And I'm bringing back the essential oils because I think it's an important part to integrate the spiritual healing that we have, and also to help us through our life. So that's Frankly Katish. On my website at the moment, those of us who have been in Infinite Love have just completed the Essence of Infinite Love experience, which is a beautiful 5-day in-person spiritual experience. And we recorded those sessions, and so they are now on the website for you to buy and create that experience yourself at home. You can also go to my website and book a session with me, or if you're feeling incredibly frustrated and want to achieve some radical change before 2026, then book a 1-month intensive with me. So thanks again from the bottom of my heart. It's been a pleasure and an honor to have you join me on this journey. Don't forget to listen to all the back episodes. There are some amazing nuggets, and I hope that the photography that I'm going through bit by bit helps you realize which episodes you have listened to and which episodes you haven't. Please kindly share the episodes with a friend who might need them. Until next time, namaste, bless your heart, bless your soul. Thank you for listening.